First, he invited Xi Jinping to his oath-taking. Xi instead sent in his vice president. And now Donald Trump has made a surprising phone call to Xi and spoken about a whole host of issues, including trade and TikTok. It's interesting how Trump's approach to foreign policy, particularly regarding China, appears to evolve over time. During his campaign, he was very vocal about taking a hard stance against China, especially on issues like trade imbalances, intellectual property theft, and military tensions in the South China Sea. Appointing hawkish figures to key positions seemed to signal a tougher approach. However, his outreach to Chinese President Xi Jinping could reflect a more pragmatic side of Trump's foreign policy. While his rhetoric often suggests confrontation, Trump's actions have tended to lean more towards direct engagement, even with adversaries. His belief in the importance of strong bilateral relations and his inclination to foster personal diplomacy with world leaders, especially with Xi, might indicate a recognition that having a stable relationship with China is vital for American interest. Whether it's managing trade tensions or addressing broader geopolitical issues, Trump's idea of great power competition suggests that he might prefer to establish clear lines of influence and keep major players like China as part of the global order without pushing them into opposition. Trump's worldview often emphasizes strategic competition and the idea that countries have spheres of influence. If he believes that China should have a sphere of influence in its region while the US focuses on its own, this could shape his policies, that is, striking a balance between tough rhetoric and pragmatic engagement. William Matthews at the Chatham House writes that while his stance on economic competition is clear, his stance on security issues, including defense of Taiwan and guarantees to US military allies like the Philippines, is not. Despite ongoing corruption scandals, Beijing is proceeding apace with military modernization, with its aim being to outclass the US in the East and South China Sea while also expanding and modernizing its nuclear arsenal. Washington has long pursued strategic ambiguity over Taiwan, calculating that lack of clarity over whether it would intervene would be sufficient to deter Beijing from attacking and Taipei from declaring independence. This is distinct from its formal defense partnerships in the region, including with Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines, which commit both parties to mutual assistance in the event of conflict. While Trump has favored hawks such as Marco Rubio and Mike Waltz as picks for his cabinet, he has also criticized Taiwan for failing to pay its way on defense. He is unenthusiastic about involving the US in foreign wars. And remember, Elon Musk, another influential pick for the new administration, has extensive business interest in China. The upshot is that the incoming administration's stance on China is fundamentally unclear, although the ambiguity is now more unintended than strategic. The key question is whether this kind of approach will truly deliver results on issues like trade, security, and Taiwan, or whether it will lead up to a more transactional, results-oriented relationship with China that might create new tensions down the road. For ThePrint's Snap Opinion, this is Snehesh Alex Philip.